Hi boys and girls, it's Shane, and oh no, we have a cracked window. This is an old aluminum window, and I can tell somebody repaired this poorly in the past, and it's cracked on both of these. You know, this is the kind of thing a lot of people will feel like, oh, I've got to replace the whole window. We're going to be able to do it for way less than that. That's how we're able to keep our rent prices down. So one of the first things we need to do is remove this piece right here. So I'm going to remove this piece right here. We'll need to keep a sample of this. If it's cracked or anything, that's okay. So this one's broken. We're going to take it to our local window supplier, and they'll give me a new piece that we can use to fill that. But now I can also see how far the glass goes on either side, so we can take a measurement. Once we have our measurement, in this case about 32 3/8, we want to make sure you leave a little bit of a gap, because this glass needs to be able to expand and contract at different rates than the metal. So that's why that gap is right there. How much do you think it's going to cost to get this window replaced? Folks at the hardware store will be able to measure and cut the glass for us. This is where I would usually get the glazing bead, but apparently they don't sell it anymore here. They only do commercial windows now. Time to find a new place. I made a mistake and deleted a clip that I needed, so I ended up having to order the glazing bead on Amazon. It took about a week and a half to get here, so the finishing and the starting of this window are about a week and a half apart. Okay, so I am going to use my pry bar to pull these pieces of glass very carefully. Probably should be wearing gloves for this, but I'll be okay. I don't think you can actually see the panes of glass very well. So I'm going to spray it with some cleaner, just so you can see it better on the video. So this part is gone. I'm going to gently, now if I put too much pressure on that, that's just going to snap to pieces. So I need to make sure to scrape away all of this first. If it doesn't come out with light pressure, then I'm going to go grab my leather gloves that I should have had with me today to begin with. But sometimes Shane makes mistakes and forgets things. Can you believe that? Sometimes we all make mistakes and miss things. It's okay to make mistakes. So that was very gentle pressure. Now we're just going to wiggle it a little bit. There's adhesive on the top of this as well. Whoever put this in before was really fond of that adhesive. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to dry fit the glass in just to make sure it's correct before we add our adhesive. We're going to use Lexel. So the sizing on the window looks correct. There's room for it to expand and contract on the top and the bottom. Let's grab some Lexel. So the product I'm going to use is called Lexel. This is kind of like a clear silicone, but it stays more flexible, and I think it stays just a much better clear color. So I'm going to squeeze some of this out all the way around the edge before we attach the glass. It'll help to keep the glass from rattling around. You don't need a whole lot, like we don't need to just cake it on like the stuff that was on here before. So now we're going to take this pane of glass, set it in, and lift it up and into place. So for the corners, we're going to use this glazing bead that's going to snap into place, but I do need to cut it down to size first. I just like to hold it into the window, mark it with my knife, and then I'm just going to cut it with my utility knife. Now, we're going to snap this into place. Just kind of flexing the plastic like you would a Lego almost. You just push it together and it snaps right in. If you have trouble getting it by hand, you can come in with a scraper like this and just push it right into place. It'll fit behind the lip here on the window, and now it's pushing pressure against the glass. This is definitely something you can do. I'm doing this just using a utility knife. There are other ways to do it. You could do it with an oscillating saw if you have one, but I wanted to show that you could do it with just basic tools that you might have. Some people like to be gatekeepers, I feel like, and stop people from trying to accomplish things. See how easy that was? That was just a utility knife, cutting it, getting it in that lip, and then snapping it into place. Now we need to do these bottom ones, which we're going to cut in a special way to where they can wrap around and fill that spot. So I've cut this piece to size. It will fit right across there. Now I need to cut the correct directional angle for each side. Let me show you how that works. I'm going to try to get it where it's not backlit so you can see better. So this lip fits into the aluminum on the window. What I'm going to do is cut at about a 45-degree angle this way so that I can make room for this to have the other piece affected. So I'm just cutting right across this way. And when I'm done, I end up with a curved piece, kind of like that. So now we can take this right over here, and angle it downward, and then fold it back, and see that's going to give us room for it to fit together and look nice. I don't quite have it clean enough, so I'm going to have to scrape out a little bit more for it to be able to snap into that lip here on the bottom. Somebody used regular window glazing for wooden windows on this, and that stuff is hard to get off. So there we go. We got both of these panes of glass fixed, and now I just got to clean up the mess. This is definitely a project that you can do.